up, Kryptonians? I have not put out a video in about 2 weeks now, a little bit over 2 weeks. I took a little mini vacation to get my head straight and to focus on other things for a little bit. Sometimes, like I said, life does get in the way, but luckily I'm back and I'm happy to get back to work. I'm happy to get back to crank out these videos. I have other videos that are coming that are gonna feel like makeup videos because they're videos that I was gonna put out in the last week or two, but didn't. If you guys bear with me, there's gonna be some late stuff that comes in, but hopefully you guys enjoy it all the same. Today, I am going to be talking about Don't Breathe 2. Don't Breathe 2 is a new, I guess, crime thriller, action thriller, whatever, suspense thriller, whatever you want to call it, that came out this past weekend. As the title would indicate, it is a sequel to Don't Breathe, which came out like almost 5 years ago. Holy shit. This one once again stars Stephen Lang. It's directed by Rodo Senguias. I think that's how you say their name. I'm not 100% sure on that. This movie takes place a little bit after the first movie, and once again it stars Stephen Lang as this badass blind old man. In this movie, he has adopted and taken in this little girl, and she lives with him as his daughter. One day, some really messed up individuals, some criminals, come to his house, and they're looking for this girl, and as you would imagine, the blind old man has a problem with this. What follows is this action movie where he has to protect the little girl from these other criminals. You're just here to watch a blind man kill a bunch of people. That's really what the story comes down to. Since I am in the business of not wasting anybody's time, I'm gonna be real with you guys. This is an unnecessary sequel. It didn't have to exist. It doesn't necessarily justify its existence during its runtime. I figured starting off the review with a backhanded compliment is like the best way to get back into the swing of things. It sets the vibe for a video that is destined to let you down. It doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy some parts of it. I mean, I've definitely seen worse in terms of unnecessary sequels. Stephen Lang, just like the first film, is really, really good in this movie, both from a performance standpoint and when it comes to the action scenes and the stunt work. Sometimes you're watching somebody that's portraying somebody that's blind and you're looking for certain tells, you know, you're looking for certain keys within scenes where you're like, you were moving like somebody that's actually not blind. Luckily, when you're watching this movie, every time you see Stephen Lang and every time he moves, every time he does something, it feels like a blind person is doing it. So kudos to him for committing to that. If you've seen the trailers for Don't Breathe 2, then you know that they kind of tried to do a rehabilitation, sort of his character from the first movie. It's got more of an anti-hero vibe here. Right off the bat, I know that some people are going to have a problem with. They do try to sympathize this person a little bit more, humanize him with this relationship with this little girl. However, the movie doesn't completely shy away from the fact that he is a despicable person who has done terrible shit. In fact, it's kind of part of his arc and it's part of the relationship he has with this little girl. As a result, you're not gonna feel like you have to root for him during this movie. And there definitely are some good kills in here, some good thrilling moments, moments where the old man has to use his blindness and his senses to, like, you know, outsmart these criminals and kill certain people. Granted, you've definitely seen it done better, like Daredevil, but I have to give the movie credit for showing a couple of those scenes that make you feel like you're watching an older, really fucked up and more mentally disturbed version of Daredevil. Oh, and I do want to give credit to the little girl. I don't know the actress's name, but the little girl was pretty good. She gave a really good performance. And as far as characters to root for, she's like the closest thing to a character that you can root for in this movie. As for everything else in the movie, you could pretty much just throw it away in the garbage disposal. It's not really that important, and it's kind of a waste of oxygen, space, time, molecules, bone marrow, pretty much anything that you would associate with watching a movie. The villains, the other antagonists in the movie, they're a waste of time. It's very cliche, very predictable what they're up to, what their plan is, what their motivation are. You're not gonna give an ounce of a fuck about any of that. Unfortunately, this movie, while it tries to go in a somewhat different direction from the first movie, it kind of forgets what made the first movie such a fun experience, especially for a lot of the people that enjoyed that one. This movie doesn't have that badass boogeyman element of the first movie. You know, the first movie, it was this blind old man, these people break into his house, and it's kind of like the boogeyman hunting these people in this house, and it's like, holy shit, you gotta be quiet, and that's gonna ratchet up the tension because he might be able to hear you, you know, because he's blind. In this movie, that claustrophobic feeling of an old badass hunting you in the house is pretty much gone, because again, they have to make him into more of an anti-hero, so as a result, he's more vulnerable in this movie. He's more vulnerable physically, like he gets hurt a lot more, he can bleed in this movie a lot more, he gets beat up a lot more. It's just not as entertaining, it's just not as much fun, especially since I'm not really rooting for him as a character, I'm rooting for the little girl. I'm looking for the entertainment value, and other than him killing killing a bunch of people in cool blind people shit ways. That suspense, it's all gone here, and it's traded in for, you know, your stereotypical blind man action beats. I don't know that this is a movie that a lot of people are gonna wanna revisit, and to be honest, I'm forgetting more about it the more that I talk about it. Don't Breathe 2 wasn't horrible, but it's kind of a waste of time as a sequel. I'm gonna leave this one in the Fortress of Solitude. Those are my thoughts on Don't Breathe 2. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? And what is your favorite between Don't Breathe and Don't Breathe 2? Let me know in the comment section down below. Please like and subscribe to the Superfan Show. Stay tuned for more videos. And if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.